Next, it's a rematch of the AFC Championship game. Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes set to do battle, both today and for years to come. It's the Bills and Chiefs coming up on Sunday night.
From one of the loudest venues in the National Football League, you get a look there at GEHA Field at Arrowhead Stadium here in Kansas City.
The scene just a few moments ago, predictably loud and raucous here at Arrowhead as their beloved Chiefs took field, and they are set to match up with the Buffalo Bills. With Charles Davis, as always, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Charles, you talked about storylines in this one. I think it begins and ends with our two quarterbacks, certainly two of the best in the business.
And nowadays, I don't think you can get by for long periods of time without a top-flight quarterback. The way the game is played, with all the responsibility he has and how the game flows through him, if he's not on the top of his game, your team's not going to benefit at all.
First quarter of the season already in the rearview mirror, and off we go in Week 5 on EA Sports.
Taking it about the 1. And he brings us out past the 20 to the 24. So here come the Bills for their first go on offense, led by their Pro Bowl quarterback. Now in his 4th season, it's Josh Allen.
Would you say that last week's performance by him, workmanlike in terms of numbers?
1 touchdown, 1 pick, but obviously a loss.
Yeah, and that's the bottom line for him. All he cares about is how do we find a way to win the game. Maybe he leans on a few other parts of the offense and hopefully springs a receiver or two free.
Throwing on first down is Allen. That's caught by his tight end, Dawson Knox. And they work this well upfield across the 45. A well-executed 22-yard gain. Devin Singletary with his first carry of the game. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 45-yard line. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11. Working out of the shotgun. Here's Allen. To the sideline, and it's caught, but boy, he's out of bounds. And they try to get him into space coming out of the backfield, but it'll be 3rd down. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Allen. He's got it complete to Stephon Diggs. And he is going to have a Bills first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. They got 18 yards out of that one, and it gets them a new set of downs. On play action, Allen. He'll find Diggs once more on the completion. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. The numbers for Diggs from a week ago. 5 catches, 54 yards.
And I get the feeling that he loves this matchup. I mean, the unit he's going against is in the bottom half of the league against the pass. He had to have circled this one on the schedule and said to himself, this should be a big game.
That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on first down. That loss of 3, a rare stumble on a promising drive. Here's 2nd and 13. Now the Georgia Southern man, it's Matt Breida. They get him to the ground right on the cusp of the red zone after a pickup of 5 or 6. Here comes the 7th play of this opening drive. They've moved it well, but here's 3rd down. Now Allen. And this pass broken up. Excellent coverage there on 3rd down, as that was not an easy one to hold on to. The kick by Bass is good. And the Bills' opening drive yields 3. In the end, the opening drive, Charles, does yield points. Maybe not the touchdown that they wanted, though.
Yeah, but bottom line, they wanted to get something out of that drive, and they did that. 3 points, they won't turn that down at all.
And this is going to be returned from the middle of the end zone. And tackled at the 21-yard line, so a net negative there of 4 yards. The Chiefs offense now ready to go to work for the first time, led by Patrick Mahomes, the 2018 NFL Most Valuable Player.
And he's been playing at an elite level here in this early half of the season. Tops in the league in touchdown passes at this point. This is definitely a wide-open offense, and we'll see if he can keep his string of good games going right here.
Mahomes will lead the Chiefs up 1st and 10 at their own 21.
They'll run for the first time with Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard. These are his numbers from last week's contest. 17 carries, 59 yards, and a touchdown.
They look like a team that really emphasized the running game in the offseason. They were going to build around it. Didn't matter if they were going to run gap scheme, power scheme, whatever. They've got a runner who finds yardage if you give him just a little bit of space.
Now a stoppage here as we've got a Bill shaken up on the play. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. We'll step aside and get an update when we return to Arrowhead.
1st and 10, it's Edwards-Helaire with it.
Trying to run inside, but nothing there. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down.
Defensively, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high-powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20. Because to me, that's the magic number. 20-point score gives yourself you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
And I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
Now a stoppage here as we've got a Bill shaken up on the play.
We'll step aside and get an update when we return to KC.
So now then, the big play has them all the way inside the 30 now, 1st and 10.
Now a toss left side for Edwards-Helaire.
There's a nice move.
Missed.
It will not go down. And they'll get this down to the 10. 17 more yards on that one as they keep the drive rolling. 2 big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit them, but now they got to get ready. It's 1st and goal.
They'll run with Edwards-Helaire.
And he will take it on in for a Chiefs touchdown.
Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
His 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Chiefs have taken the lead.
Well, first quarter, maybe too early to talk about statement drives, Charles, but that sure seemed like a statement drive right there.
Well, if we're going to talk about statement drives, I think what they're saying is we're going to establish the run. They gave it to him early and often on this drive, and he wound up taking it into the end zone.
Extra point by Butker is on target.
And that makes it a 7-3 lead. Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away.
This one fielded at the 5. And he had no room to run as he's tackled down inside the 20. The Bills come to the line to start their next drive. And after the field goal last time, we'll see what they can get here. At least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them wanted to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it. Way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you met fan bases that wanted that, that weren't happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet that wants to drive to end with a kick other than the extra point. That's it.
And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. It's a gain of 13 and a Buffalo first down. After one, 7-3 the score on EA Sports. The Bills with the football as we start quarter number 2, as they've got it with a 1st and 10. Now Allen. And that is incomplete. Oh, the coverage a little too good there, and it's 2nd down. They'll try again from the 36 on 2nd and 10. Here's Allen.
All right, rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted.
Picked off by Will Parks. And to the 40-yard line, that's where the return stops.
Well, this had trouble written all over from the start. He's got 2 extra defensive backs in the game he's got to deal with. They're in a dime set. So everywhere he's looking, he's seeing a different color jersey. And sure enough, this one winds up being intercepted.
So after the INT, here's Mahomes. He's going to let this go. Back of the end zone. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked off by Jordan Poyer. Well, they were going for the big strike right there, but this just terrific coverage by the defense in the end zone.
And what helps being a safety in this spot is the back line of the end zone. Defensive back coaches always...
And he sheds a tackle. Now he's got some space. And all the way inside the 35 before he goes out of bounds.
And CD, we have seen some great runs the last few times we've been together, but I think we could at least put this one in our top 5. That was a determined gallop there.
Yeah, and that's a run born out of ferociousness. He took on that initial contact and in his mind just screamed, "Out of my way," and kept right on going and wound up turning it into a big play.
So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the 30. Allen going to give this one to Singletary. And he'll get a little over 2, maybe a full 3 down to the 32-yard line. The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. To the air. Allen. It's Knox, the tight end, making the catch. And he'll be marked down at the 26 with a gain of 7. Not a big window to throw. Coverage wasn't too bad there.
Yeah, they had him under wraps pretty well, but somehow able to muscle his way open and catch the ball.
He'll dump this down to Matt Breida.
And he is going to have a Bills first down by a couple of yards as they're able to get 4 there on 3rd and 2.
Well, they've certainly done a nice job spreading the ball around on this drive. This time he gets it out to his back, and it's another nice play and another first down. They've got the defense on their heels a little bit. They're reacting instead of being aggressive and making plays.
Here's Allen on 1st and 10. He's got the hook up with Diggs. And they are able to stop him, but he does take it all the way to the 2. A good pick up there of 20 yards. Moss. And he takes it in across the chalk for a Bills touchdown. Zach Moss, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Bills have retaken the lead.
Yeah, the first drive ended in 3. This time they take it down and punch it in the end zone.
So that first drive felt like they were just gathering knowledge, didn't it? Just enough to kick the field goal on the first one. And the second time they put it all together and got it all the way to the end zone.
Now returning it, Antonio Callaway.
And he'll be brought down right on the chalk of the 20.
The Chiefs offense about set to begin this drive. And last time, 1-play interception. So this offense, they should be fresh.
That's a good way of putting it. And I can't wait.
And this is caught right along the sideline. What a job of keeping the toes in bounds there. A gain of 37. So the big play gets him across midfield now for 1st and 10.
Now Edwards-Helaire.
And he's able to carve out about 6 there, down to the 37.
You know what really fires up offensive linemen? When the guy that is carrying the ball behind them can create his own space and break a tackle along the way.
6 yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4. Mahomes going to throw. Open man, it's the tight end Kelsey. And he's taken down, but not before reaching the 10-yard line.
Boy, how about the speed with which this offense can get down the field? It's taken them no time at all to get down here, and now they're set up with a 1st and goal.
So it's 1st and goal and a great opportunity to get that lead back before the break. Looking to throw is Mahomes. The quick slant caught. And in for the Chiefs touchdown. Travis Kelce, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Chiefs are once again going to retake the lead.
The tight end position has always been dangerous, especially in the red zone, short field, but now even more so because these tight ends aren't necessarily the tight ends of old. They're the rocked-up wide receivers who have a little bit more speed, way harder to cover than before.
Extra point by Butker is on target, and the lead is now 14-10.
Just a 4-play drive that time, and it winds up with the Chiefs hitting pay dirt. Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Here's the Buffalo offense now as they get set to take over here. Touchdowns on back-to-back drives, so a very good flow right now offensively.
Hard to slow them down, too, because they are locked in. Feel like the offense coordinator's a little bit ahead of the defensive guys right now. They're beating them to the punch with their play calls. They've got a nice rhythm they're locked into.
Oh, Allen cannot get away, and down he goes.
The pressure that time right up the middle, and he was able to wiggle in there pretty easily and get the sack.
Yeah, sometimes you end up getting caught in a little bit of a breakdown about who to block up front. And that creates the gap there, and he took full advantage, got to the quarterback, and finished off the sack.
They try to throw on second down, but this one is incomplete. Stephon Diggs, his intended receiver, and that'll make it third down. And they will stop him after a fairly minimal pickup. Just a 2-yard pickup, and that should necessitate a call for the punt team here on fourth down. On fourth down, Matt Hawk to punt it away. Tyreek Hill back deep for Kansas City. It's a return of 5 following a punt of 42 yards. And control of the football switching hands with very little time remaining until the half.
The KC offense and Clyde Edwards-Helaire getting the ball back here.
Whatever he was doing in September, they're hoping that that carries over now to October because he was sensational last month.
He absolutely was, and we all know where it started at the end of last season.
And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. Now a timeout signaled for, and they'll get it with 10 seconds to go before halftime.
2nd and 16.
Another try after the first down sack. Mahomes being chased out left. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long way out there, but it'll be third down.
Certainly no lack of aggressiveness here. They were hoping for the home run play to get them 6 points. They're hoping for a catch, maybe a call, but they figure they can at least get into field goal range with a completion.
And going deep for Hill, and he fires one that's intercepted. Tre'Davious White with a pick, and he will be brought down as time is now run out on this first half of action. So we've come upon halftime here in Arrowhead with the Chiefs on top as we send you down to Orlando where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports halftime report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. We'll get back to you and Charles in a minute. But first, time to give the folks at home a look at what's going on around the NFL. We'll start up in the Pacific Northwest at Lumen Field in Seattle. And as you see, they were winners back on Thursday night. Russell Wilson, terrific in the victory, as his guys up their mark to 4-1 now. From there, we take the long trip back across the country, then across the pond. Check out the action in London. And they were losers in their ball game as they were outplayed by the visiting New York Jets. Jamison Crowder, a touchdown catch in the victory. And finally, on Monday Night Football, the Colts return to Baltimore. That should be interesting. Colts, Ravens, live from M&T Bank Stadium. With that, let's take a look at the next-gen stats for Buffalo in that first half. And despite the fact that they're down on the scoreboard, they were able to have some success throwing the football in that opening half. Meanwhile, for the Chiefs, we check out their numbers on the ground as they'll try to keep the momentum going into the second half. the final adjustments taking place here for both of these squads. They're about ready for the second half in Kansas City. And for the call, we rejoin Brandon and Charles.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. The question to be asked, where does this game go from here as we are back at it now on EA Sports? And the decision to bring it out, not a good one, as he's tackled at the 15. The Chiefs ready to go on offense to begin quarter number 3. And Charles, they've got the lead. Put your coaching hat on here now. What's the game plan for the second half?
I think getting the running game going a little bit more, because I thought in the first half it didn't get it moving the way that they would like. They had success throwing it.
And all the way in for a Kansas City touchdown. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, 85 yards. And the Chiefs come right out of the locker room and score here in the opening minute of the third quarter. So there, Charles, I mean, a situation where it didn't matter how far he had to run, he was not going to be denied, and he winds up taking this all the way to the end zone.
And that's a second touchdown run of this game, and this one, and a high degree of difficulty to it as well. I'm absolutely marveling at how effortless he makes this look. I mean, let's face it, he had a long way to go. But how about the vision, the creativity with the football in his hands? It's really something to watch.
Yeah, he covered a lot of ground on that one, as evidenced by the final total there on Next Gen Stats. Butker now to add the extra point. It's good, and it's 21-10. Those are the ones the offensive coordinators dream about. One-play drives from that distance. What an effort. It results in the touchdown. Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. Fielded just outside the goal line. And he will be brought down here inside the 20. Good coverage as he's dropped at the 17. The Bills come to the line to start their next drive. And their deficit a little wider than it was at halftime. Does that touchdown a minute ago change the thinking here at all?
I think it does, at least a little bit, because now urgency has to start setting in. You can't go out there and go 3 and out and run the risk of falling behind substantially. But you have to do it without pressing, because pressing, that'll lead you into bigger errors.
Well, the first play of the drive lost 4. Now they'll look to move it forward here on 2nd and 14. Here's Allen to throw it. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
So many times when we talk about coverage, we're just talking about a defender running with a receiver, but a big part of it is understanding where the football is, finding it. In this case, when it arrived, it wasn't a surprise, and he was able to bat it.
Oh, this is taken in. It's complete. Touchdown. Stephon Diggs. His 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Bills have cut it to within a score. I think it's fair to say there's nothing that gets a crowd to its feet quite like a big play, and that was something special there. Boy, was he moving.
Well, in this league where coordinators worry so much about drawing up the right routes, blocking assignments, misdirections and stuff, they have these precise arrows and movements. Sometimes the best plays just come from the schoolyard where you look at your fastest guy and say, go long, go get it, big man.
Well, from deep in the end zone, he's going to bring this out.
And not a good return here at all as they'll be forced to start at the 12-yard line. The KC offense out of the huddle, ready for their next drive. And they hit the home run last drive. One play on the ground all the way to the house. Now the defense, maybe they're expecting a run here.
Partner, I love your description, because when we talk about hitting the home run, we're usually thinking about a passing play, aren't we? Something in the air, deep ball. But how about them just taking it big-time jaunt? Now if you're coming back out, now they've established this run game, the play-action pass could very well be open.
2nd down, back to Edwards-Helaire.
And he'll be taken down at the 18. 4 yards on the pickup there as it'll leave him with a 3rd and about 4 more for a 1st. Working from the gun, Mahomes. He is going to find Hill here.
And he will have a Chiefs 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
They call it a gain of 19, and it moves the chains. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. A shotgun snap and a give to Edwards-Helaire. And for one of the first times tonight, he's going to be held up at the line of scrimmage.
Well done to sniff that out defensively. He had it diagnosed pretty quickly.
I love that description because diagnosed is perfect on that one. Read his keys, made the play, and he couldn't even get going moving the football.
Now a deep ball there on 2nd down, but it'll wind up incomplete. He was looking for Tyreek Hill that time, and it's 3rd down. Play action. Now it's Mahomes. He'll buy some time right. And going deep for Hill. And it's going to be incomplete. He was able to catch it there on the right sideline, but out of bounds, says the line judge. And it's going to bring up 4th down. The offense staying out there. They look prepared to go here on 4th and 10. They'll go for it. It's Mahomes rolling to his left. To the sideline, and he's got it. They say the feet are down. Yes, the line judge says they're in. That'll be a 1st down. How about them biting off 15 yards there on the 4th down attempt and keeping the drive alive? Escaping the pressure right. And going deep for Hill.
And this is dropped. Oh, it's incomplete. He had a big gainer in his sights, but he could not reel it in.
Hill, the intended receiver once again, but it's going to be 2nd down. They fake the give. Now Mahomes sliding out of the pocket. And going deep for Hill.
And, oh, he's unable to hold on to that defensively. A potential game changer, but it falls incomplete.
Scramble drill there, partner. Some teams have some pretty good rules for it. Others are just saying make sure you work your way back into the sight lines of your quarterback, even if you take the play deep. And that's what they attempted to do on that one, unable to connect.
And he's got a 1st down as the tackle made at the Bills' 28. Now after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. We'll step aside and get an update when we return to Arrowhead.
Edwards-Helaire as they run out of the gun.
Stiff-armed him. And he'll go out of bounds inside the 15-yard line.
149 yards rushing for him so far as his terrific season continues here.
Looks to me like maybe there's a little attrition setting in with this drive, because when you see that type of a run, I get the feeling the defense getting a little bit tired.
And that's the last thing they need, especially when they look up at the scoreboard. And he'll fight his way down right around the 12.
Jordan Poyer, the league's leading tackler among safeties last year, in to make the stop. On 2nd down, a run with Edwards-Helaire.
And a pickup of about 4 down inside the 10 to the 8-yard line.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time.
And oh, it'll be intercepted. Picked off by Micah Hyde. That throw, Charles, over the middle of the field, and a few too many bodies in there got picked.
That's a normal situation, too, isn't it? No matter how hard you try and spread the field sometimes, there's always going to be a traffic jam, it feels like, towards the middle. And if there's any type of a missed throw, or maybe the ball's tipped, or just too many bodies in the area, an interception can result.
On 2nd and 10, Allen. And that is intercepted on the sideline. Wait, no. They'll say no. It was caught out of bounds. So this is just an incompletion here.
An important play right here, 3rd and 10.
And I would expect pressure here.
That's caught by Gabriel Davis. And he is going to have a Bills 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
His first catch, and it's a pretty big one. They get the conversion on 3rd down. They'll run on 1st down with Singletary. Oh, he's got some breathing room. And he'll go out of bounds, making it all the way down to the 5. Trailing here in the 3rd, and that run might just be the spark that this offense needs.
And don't you just get the sense that he's going around, not just in the huddle, but looking over at the bench and saying, ball, give me the ball. Let me carry this thing home.
Allen going to throw. to the end zone, but it's incomplete. Down this close to the goal line, first down. Surprised that wasn't a run?
I am, and you know I'm old school. I want to run the ball on first down in this situation because second down, that gives me an option to run and play action, maybe throwing it.
That time the completion goes for 4 yards, and we're set up with a 3rd and goal. Now after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. A lot of tired bodies on that field, but this is a big play, 3rd and goal. We'll step aside, and he'll take it into the end zone for a Buffalo touchdown. Zach Moss, his 2nd touchdown of the game, his 3rd on the year. And the Bills have taken the lead here in the 4th quarter.
A late turnover is so often the difference in a ball game, and here the turnover leads to a go-ahead touchdown.
So repeat after me, partner. You have to take care of the football. In order to protect the lead, you must take care of the football. Ball security. How many times do they have to say it? They've been preaching it since day 1 of camp, and it came back to bite them right there.
And he won't quite make it to the 25. KC's offense ready to take over, and they will be looking to answer the touchdown their defense just surrendered. Still a good chunk of time remaining here in the 4th quarter, and a chance to regain the lead in a tight one.
And a missed tackle there as he pushes forward for a gain of 4.
I feel like I could see what he was thinking on that carry. Wanted to follow that big tackle through the hole. Ended up only getting 4 yards on the carry. I think he had designs on that one being bigger.
On the run, he'll let this go deep right side.
And this is incomplete. Oh, he looked like he had a pretty good line on that one. That would have been a big play, but he could not pull it in.
The Chiefs on 3rd down, 2 for 5 to this point. This will be 3rd and 6. Now Mahomes.
And this one incomplete. And another throw that really could have been, maybe should have been intercepted. That would have been number 4. Instead, it's 4th down.
Now Mahomes got to have this one. Got his man complete over the middle. That's Hill. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. Facing a 4th down, they come away with 18 yards and the first down conversion. To throw, it's Mahomes. Rolling to his right. Room to run inside the 40. And he gets this one down to the 24. Good yardage after the catch. Is that play good for 30 and a first?
So that was a very nice play, Charles, from a very speedy cornerback.
And that is a situation where in a defender's mind, you just have to pick a point on the football field and think to yourself, I'm going to sprint full out and meet him at that point. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it doesn't, but he had to play diagnosed perfectly there.
Keeps himself upright. Eluding the pressure right. And he'll get him inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. He'll get 10 there all on his own, but it'll be 2nd down.
They'll run here with Edwards-Helaire.
And he'll be brought down this time at the 5-yard line.
168 yards on the ground for him now as he has gotten better, really, as the night's gone on.
And the question now, how do they want to work the clock here on 1st and goal? A field goal would give them the late lead. And he is in. Touchdown, Kansas City.
Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
A 5-yard touchdown run. And the Chiefs have taken the lead here in the 4th.
Well, quite the comeback here. They have erased that deficit, pushed themselves out in front now here in this 4th quarter.
But this game's kind of fun like a horse race, hasn't it, partner? Because the other guys run out to their big lead, but then slowly and surely, they've been creeping up and closing that gap. Now they've stuck ahead in front here late in the game. The finish line's not far away. They need their defense to finish this thing off.
All right, now a big 2-point conversion attempt still to come.
And here's Edwards-Helaire.
And he will get into the end zone again, and he seems to have a nose for it as he gets both the touchdown and the 2-point conversion. And they're able to ground it in there on the 2-point try, and you and I were talking before the game. that two-point conversions from the 15-16 season, what has changed, what hasn't changed, partner?
Yeah, I'll tell you what's changed is just your normal strategy, because now you're either kicking the football with the ball on the 15-yard line, or if you decide to go for two, they put it on the 2-yard line. So what are you thinking as a coach? Do I risk it? Do I go for it here? Do I try and gain a strategic advantage and maybe go for too early? That's what people are wondering about.
Allen and the Bills now with a 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. To throw, it's Allen. Oh, Allen cannot get away, and down he goes. The Mississippi State man, Chris Jones, with a sack there.
One of the better defensive linemen in the league, can be absolutely dominant at times. Chris Jones has been a Pro Bowler each of the last 2 years. In 2020, just 7.5 sacks. But he did have a career high of 15.5 just 3 seasons ago in 2018. He and Frank Clark provide excellent pressure against opposing quarterbacks.
Possibly a turning point. Big play coming. This is 3rd and long. Throwing now is Allen. And Diggs has it. And he's taken down right at the 45-yard line. A big gain of 31 on 3rd down. 1st down, Bills. We've got a 1-score game with inside of 2 minutes remaining. So it's Bills football here as we get you reset. They come up on a 1st and 10, desperately needing a score here on what could be their final drive. Throwing on 1st down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. He was looking for Matt Breida out of the backfield. That'll bring up 2nd down.
Whew, that's certainly not the worst thing. It stops the clock and lets your offense catch its breath and lets us exhale a little bit. Now I expect them to call a couple plays in the huddle, so they're ready if a tackle happens inbounds.
Another throw on 2nd down, and this one incomplete as well. This offense was on the move. Now 2 straight incompletions have them looking at 3rd and 10. Throwing is Allen. And the catch made. This is Emmanuel Sanders. And he is going to have a Bills 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. Allen to the veteran Sanders for the Buffalo 1st. And he'll be brought down at the 27-yard line. Now the Bills will hustle to the line. And this is incomplete. Oh, that looked like a sure 6 points, but he could not get that to stick, and that is a golden opportunity wasted there. They got to get it to the 21 here on 3rd down. Allen. And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. Now Allen, got to have this one. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. They had to go for it with such little time remaining, and the Chiefs' defense comes up with a stop. Set to take over, Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. And they must have seen something leading up to this one that said, hey, we're going to be able to go deep, because they've gone deep with a lot of success.
And pick your phrase, pick your code words, your buzzwords, whatever, vertical stretch, deep passes, go routes, right? What's that route you love? What's that route you love? 4 verts. 4 verts. All of it working because they're able to find ways to get deep, and for him to show off that big, big arm.
We see some of that big arm right here. He has been great. The Chiefs offense about set to begin this drive. And they'll begin by running the option. He's got the 1st down and more past midfield. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. First play of the drive, a success, 19 yards. And Mahomes going to run again. Able to push his way through. Now the Bills are going to use the first of their timeouts, as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the game. So they come up on 2nd down. If they can get another run like we just saw, would likely put an end to this thing. Here's Mahomes now on the option right. And he's out of bounds. Almost gets to the 10. A big gain there, and that should certainly be enough to put this one in the win column. From down at the 12, it's 1st and 10.
Mahomes is going to run it on the option.
Now the Bills will use the second of their timeouts, and that'll hurt the average a bit as this time they're able to get him behind the line. Second and long, but you got to figure this almost certainly another run.
On the option, Mahomes will run it.
And he's going to be brought down by the face mask. Here come the flags. This is going to get him a first down. Wow, a personal foul at this stage in the fourth. Hard to believe.
Really hard to believe, and now that glow of hope that you had begins to flicker out, doesn't it?
Yep. Mahomes now on the sneak. And running room hard to come by here. He gets it down to the 8. The Bills are going to go ahead and use their final timeout as the clock stops with 23 seconds to go in the game. Here's second and goal, operating from the 8-yard line. And he's across for the late touchdown. And in the final seconds, that one should just about put a capper on this game.
And that touchdown should make you feel comfortable. But do you really feel like it's totally over yet?
Not totally, but I think you're pretty much there.
Yeah, you've still got to make sure you stay with it, do all the right things down the stretch, especially on defense. But that touchdown there, you've got to feel good about your chances.
Extra point by Butker is on target.
And the lead now up to 14. Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback.
Buffalo offense back out ready to go.
They can't do much at this point, partner. This one is going to go down in the loss column.
You don't make up for what has happened during the game. In this sequence here, maybe you hand it off and let someone run the ball if you so choose. But otherwise, just kneel down, call it a day, and try and prepare going forward.
And that one drops down, incomplete. Good coverage there, forced the ball free, and it's second down. Allen.
Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there trying to take a shot, but it's third down. Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. One final shot. They'll look to throw. He's going to let it fly. And that will be incomplete as time has run out on this football game. Charles, we saw a lot of points go up in this one. Certainly defensively, stuff that they can look at on film, don't you think?
No doubt about it. And they've got to go back and check where the errors are, how they're going to fix them, and continue to get better at what they do. But they also need a little adjustment with their confidence. To give up that many points, even if you win a game, that can hurt you.
So for the Chiefs, they improved to 5-0 now on the young season.
And they will hit the road next week to take on Washington.
Meanwhile, for Buffalo, they'll fall to 1-4 with a loss. And they'll try to rebound next week on the road in Nashville.